I always thought that I was one of those people who was just destined with negative thoughts. Every time throughout my day when something bad happened, I'd just get negative thoughts and they'd completely overwhelm me. You might think you're this person too. Now let me tell you, there is some hope. I always believed that there was something wrong with me because I kept on getting negative thoughts. I was always very emotional and these negative thoughts had a massive grip on me and I could never control them. My mood would always be constantly up and down and I would literally just be following my thoughts. I thought I was stuck with this for life, and maybe you do too. But let me give you some hope. Consider the fact that these negative thoughts are not actually genetic, and they're not stuck with you for life. Consider the idea that these negative thoughts are just a result of a species inappropriate diet. Consider the fact that consuming seed oils, high carbohydrates, and lots of sugars is destroying your brain health and the mitochondrial health in your body, which is making your brain function less optimally. Consider the idea that your depression is not stuck with you for life, and that there's things that you can do to fix it that no one has told you before. Now trust me, I was in your shoes too. I had major depressive disorder, I had terrible focus, I was diagnosed with ADHD, and I was just always depressed and overwhelmed by negative thoughts. I tried what everyone said. I listened to the advice of just tell yourself positive things, just be happy, just be yourself and enjoy life. It never worked though. I tried all these habits, I tried meditating, I tried exercising, I tried all these things, and they never really worked until I addressed the root cause of the issue. Think about it. How are all these habits and all these methods meant to work if the fuel that you were giving your body is incorrect? Things never really started getting better for me until I changed the fuel that I was giving my body. Well, what do I mean by fuel? When I say fuel, I mean the food that you were giving your body. And for most people, and you're probably something like me, a high carbohydrate diet does not work. If you're anything like me, there's a chance that a low carbohydrate carnivore diet may be your best option. I also just think that our brains are not accustomed to having such high carbohydrates. Our ancestors definitely did not have access to stimulating foods and super sugary carbohydrates millions of years ago. They would have just been feasting on the corpses of dead animals and lots of fat and protein and being constantly in a state of ketosis. Ever since I started the carnivore diet, it's almost like a flip just switched in my brain. While I still do see the negative thought in my head, it literally just does not even affect me anymore. And I haven't done any other habits. It's just like my brain is functioning optimally and I'm not as emotional anymore because I think maybe the carbohydrates just cause inflammation to your brain and they just make you overthink a lot and just make you get down because of the insulin spikes that would just make your mood fluctuate so much. My energy is just so constant throughout the entire day. I have zero crashes, there's no ups and downs, there's no food comas, there's no withdrawals, there's nothing like that. It's just a nice constant energy from the start of the day and then it just slowly tapers off before I go to sleep. It's almost as if now I just process a thought and I'm like, okay, that's just a thought. And I don't let it get to me because that's not the way thoughts should be. Thoughts do not identify who you are. It was always so hard for me though. My brain would just be full of thoughts and they just fully overwhelm me. Let me give you an example. I have a bit of an injury in my ribs. And whenever I was training, it would always flare up and I'd get really sad and then the rest of my day would be ruined. I'd just spend all day scrolling on Instagram Reels and just eating junk food because I used to get really down about it and I was like, oh, there's no hope anyways. But now when that happens, while I still do get a bit of the flare up in my ribs, I now can analyze the situation and actually think of what my thoughts for what they are rather than just taking my thoughts as an absolute truth and actually just think what is the most rational decision to make next. And I think the ability to control your thoughts and the thoughts that you tell yourself is so important because your thoughts basically determine your reality. If you cannot control your thoughts, then you cannot control your life. So while all these other habits such as journaling, meditation, gratitude journaling, they're all amazing, they won't work, or at least they didn't work for me, until I addressed the root cause of my poor mental health, which is a species inappropriate diet, one that is too high in carbohydrates and too low in fats. Think about it. Your brain is literally 60% fat. And people don't believe me for this. Literally search it up. I've spoken to so many brain specialists and your brain is 60% fat and 39% protein and it's like 1% carbohydrates. You don't need any carbohydrates. And the glucose that you actually do need, your body can make it naturally through a process of gluconeogenesis. A process that we've been using for millions and millions of years, so our body is well adapted to it. So if our brain is so much made up of fat, and 25% of that 60% is made up of saturated fats, then why is everyone telling us to lower our fat intake? It's crazy, right? They're telling us to lower our fat intake, but then over-prescribing antidepressants. And I was a victim to this system. I was on antidepressants, I was on ADHD tablets, I was on the whole lot. And now since changing this one thing, I'm off them all. And I feel amazing basically all the time. I was so depressed every single day. I can't even remember the last time I felt depressed on the carnivore diet. It's like I just know it's not going to happen. Yes, of course, sometimes I do feel a little bit sad. I don't let it overwhelm me and I just get right back up straight away. So basically, on a carnivore diet, while you still do get the negative thoughts, they don't really overwhelm you as much or nowhere near as much as they used to. If you incorporate other habits such as meditation, journaling, gratitude journaling, you can really just decrease the size of your emotional side of your brain and really decrease the noise of those negative thoughts. So please, stop watching self-help videos on this one trick that'll fix your mental health. Address the root cause, which 9 times out of 10 is a species inappropriate diet. It's giving your body the absolute worst feel possible, and then you can start from there. I know it sounds crazy, but give it a try. 30 days on a carnivore, low-carb, zero-carb diet, and trust me, you will thank me later. Thanks so much for watching, and please consider liking and subscribing and leaving a comment below if the carnivore diet has changed your mental health or you're thinking of starting a carnivore or zero carb diet. And yeah, everyone have a good day.